Hi everyone, it's Lynn from Lynn Vintage and welcome back to another Retro Cooking Wednesday. Today we are going to look over some of the older Weight Watcher recipes. We are making Frankfurter Spectacular, and this first made an appearance in January of 1970 on Weight Watchers magazine cover, and then made another appearance in 1974. So we're going to do the 1974 version of this recipe. So let's go through those ingredients. I'll meet you at that ingredient table. All right, everyone. So the ingredients that we need for our Frankfurter Spectacular is we need 8 ounces of hot dogs. So half of this package, which would be 4 of the hot dogs. 1 medium tart apple that should be peeled and chopped and the core cut out. So we'll do that. We need a half a cup of, they always call for canned onions. I have looked for canned onions before. I can't find any, so I'm just going to use a half a cup of these frozen onions. Of course, the star of our show, we will be using a pineapple, and you're only supposed to be using a quarter of this pineapple, but we will use it to make it look spectacular. You also need 4 ounces of sliced carrots that were canned. So I will just make sure that I use a half a cup of these sliced carrots. In here for our seasoning, this is 1 tablespoon of tomato juice, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, and it called for a half a tablespoon of cider vinegar, which is 1.5 teaspoons. So that is in there. Our spices is a 1/4 teaspoon of curry, 1/8 of a teaspoon of ginger, 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne, and then 1/8 of a teaspoon of coriander seeds. I also have a 1/4 cup of bouillon here, and those are our ingredients. So let's make this spectacular display. So I'm going to try and leave this top on because we want to wrap our hot dogs around there. So I'm going to kind of cut. I know this pineapple is going to be kind of green. I'm going to try and peel it. Whenever you pick a pineapple, like you pull to make sure this comes out, that's when you know they're ripe. A leaf. That one had leaves that came out. So hopefully it won't be too bad. So I'm just going to kind of cut this out like this, because I want to save that core. So I'm just going to try and get all of that off. But you don't want to like go too far in because you don't want to waste the flesh. But you want to get all the spikes off. All right. I'm going to cut the bottom flat. And then I'm going to try and leave a center stem so that we can wrap the frankfurters around it. So I'm just going to kind of go down, get all of the good pineapple off. Just kind of see where that core is. And we'll cut everything other than what is not the core. Don't want to get it too thin. This is actually looks like a good pineapple. So I'm going to save this to wrap our hot dogs around. All right. So then this, I'm going to cut this, what I saved. We're going to use 1/4 of this for our skillet stuff. So I'm going to trim this. We get a couple bowls. All right. And then I'm going to separate it. I'll come right back. It says to slice frankfurters lengthwise, but don't cut all the way through. So I'm just going to do like this and leave it, because originally that one was like up and down on the pineapple. Oops. Like this. So now it's like wrapped around the pineapple. We're going to do the wrapped around one. I'm assuming that is what they mean. And I'm just going to place these in my pan here. And I'm going to throw these in the oven, 500 degrees, for like 3 minutes. Okay, it says throw all the ingredients other than the hot dogs, basically, in a skillet and cook it. So that is what we are going to do. So here we have our tablespoon of lemon juice, tablespoon of tomato, our 1.5 teaspoons of cider vinegar. Here is my 1/4 cup of bouillon. Get that bouillon out of there. Put all those seasonings, which was the 1/8 teaspoon of ginger, 1/8 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/8 teaspoon of cayenne, the 1/8 teaspoon of coriander, and the 1/4 teaspoon of cumin, or not cumin, curry. So I got all that in there. Make sure we get it all in there. All right. And then I have my 1/2 cup of carrot, 1/2 cup of onion, the apple that was, well, I peeled it. You don't have to peel it, I guess. And the 1/4 of pineapple, which was about 1 cup of the pineapple. So we're just gonna let this mingle all together in here. And these were canned carrots. You know, probably because we're not really cooking anything and they want the carrots to be soft, is what I would assume why they wanted you to use canned. I don't know. Maybe back in the 70s, a lot of things were more novelty. But yeah, hot dogs were like a novelty. I don't exactly know when the first hot dog came out. If you know, comment below. So we're just supposed to cook this over low heat for 10 minutes. Let it all heat together. We'll come back and assemble. All right, so we are going to try to
decorate our pineapple. See, they come off. We're just supposed to wrap it around. find a decent spot. There we go. All right, let's set this up. I'll be right back.
So I'm just going to put our pineapple mixture around our beautiful hot dog. Hopefully it'll stand up. Woohoo! All right, let me get you a good picture of this. Okay, so my thoughts on Frankfurter Spectacular. It was pretty spectacular, but trying to play with the hot dogs, putting it all on that center of the pineapple was kind of crazy. By then the hot dogs are cold. But it was, I don't know, we did a lot of weird stuff in the 70s, didn't we? But I wanted to go over something that I thought was interesting. Back in 1970, when this first hit Weight Watchers, you used a whole pound of hot dogs, and that fed 2 people. That is a lot of hot dogs. This one, in 1974, when it reappeared, you only used 8 ounces of hot dogs. And even breaking that down, calorie fat-wise, sodium, is quite spectacular also. Because the total calories for the dish is probably about 400. I mean, that's including your bouillon, everything. I'm not going to do spices or none of that because that really doesn't have anything. But the interesting thing is those hot dogs are 12 grams of fat each. So you have 24 grams of fat, which brings that to 58% of your meal is from fat. So if you were going to do the whole, you would have ate all 4 hot dogs in the original recipe, that would have been doubled. And then the sodium on top of it is, the hot dogs alone brings it to 1,000 milligrams, which you should only be like at 2,200 a day. And that's a high end. So yeah, probably one of the reasons why they changed it. You would have been over your sodium and way over your fat because the Heart Association wants us to be at 30%. If you eat something, it should be only 30% of your calories should be from fat. And this was 58, almost 60% of our calories was coming from fat. Maybe if you're doing keto, but then you wouldn't have the pineapple in there. The overall recipe itself, I actually liked the mixture of the pineapple and the apple with the spice because it had cayenne pepper and all that in there. But I think it would be better with like a slice of ham or something, a really nice lean slice of ham or something like that. Maybe we should redo it that way and bring it back. But it wasn't bad. I probably would not waste my time putting it on the pineapple, but you got to do it once. You had to do it once just to see what it looked like. Was it really spectacular? With that being said, this is Lynn from Hey Lynn Vintage. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much, you guys, for helping my channel grow. I really do appreciate it. We will continue with a couple more of these Weight Watchers recipes through the month of January. Let's see what we're coming up with next week. They did a lot of gelled stuff, so we're probably going to be doing some unflavored gelatin here somewhere. See what kind of weird stuff we can come up with. All right, stay retro, my friends. See you real soon. Bye.